Right, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. And so I've been meaning to do this video. I meant to get it out yesterday, but unfortunately, I was just super tired and I was not up to discussing this chapter at the way I would have wanted it to. So, decided now that I'm feeling a little bit more refreshed today, try to take another crack at it. So this is not going to be my typical, reaction review because as most of you already know, I posted my initial thoughts on Twitter already. So this will be more of a discussion review, talking about One Piece chapter 930 and basically problems I have with the chapter in general, but also something more story and kind of arc specific. So we'll get into the details of that later, but first I will do a normal just read through the chapter, give general thoughts, then we'll get into the nitty gritty. Alright, so to start, One Piece chapter 930, Ebisu Town. We have a cover page request of Erosion Cracker Racing on Dolphins by OO. And we have translation Stephen Paul, lettering Vanessa Satone. So, slightly earlier in time, this is the settlement living off the leftover scraps of the flower capital, Ebisu Town. And we have, well, look who's back. It's Tonoyasu. He's like, why'd you come back, Yasu? We ain't got no food here. And they're all just smiling and laughing, and they're so happy. He's like, yeah, I'm so hungry, I'm dying. And Zoro's like, why are these people so cheerful? And he goes, this leftover town is different from the Okobore and Kuri. Ayo, very astute, my good man. The people are cheerful, no? After all of the many living things in the world, only a human being has the ability to smile. Yo! So why waste a good thing? Let those smiles ring. Ah ha ha. And you have a little kid that's laughing. Ah ha ha. Hey ma, I'm hungry. She's like, ah, so am I. Join the club. Ha ha ha. He goes, looky that, another tooth fell out for malnutrition. Yeah, so what would you eat with it? What would you eat with it? He's like, who's the Ronin with you, Tonoyasu? He's got 3 swords at his side. Ah ha 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 ha. He's like, you're right, 3 swords, and all of them full-size katanas. It's like, hey buddy, is that for a comedy bit? Well, ah ha ha ha. Like, now, keep your hands off this catch, folks. I saw him first. I feel so sorry for you, stranger. You're stuck with a real weirdo. Hey, I'll have you know I'm the best dang sycophant in the whole country. It's like, is that so? Well, he doesn't seem happy about it. And one of the women comes up and stretches Zoro's face into a smile. Like, look, now you've got to smile. Something good happened here today. That's right, Tonoyasu. Guess what happened last night? Ushimitsu Kozo showed up again. He did? And he's just Zoro with his mouth like, oh, him who? He's like, no one knows just who he is, but he shows up at the 3rd hour of the bull in the night, steals gold from the wicked rich folks in the city, and spreads it among the poor row houses before he vanishes. And like, I wonder who he really is. Whatever the answer, he's a savior. Ha 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 ha. Fortune comes to those who laugh. So we all chipped in and bought ourselves a feast today. Hee hee hee. Here you go, Ronin, have a cup. And the little girl just gives him a drink. Zoro sits down. And he sees it and he goes, nice clean water. We used the money to buy it. Ah ha ha. And you see that their well is basically dried up and in disarray. And Zoro sees it and he goes, nah, I'll pass. It's like, don't worry, it won't make your tummy hurt. If Yasu brought you back here, then we know you must be a good person. Gah ha ha. Drink up, everyone's got a right to the water. Nice clean water, nice clean water. It's like, grin. Isn't that good stuff? It just trickles through your body. There you go, scowling again. He's like, mween. Wah ha 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 ha. You gotta smile or that good fortune will get away. See, in this country, people call a smiling face an Ebisu smile, my friend. It's what gives this town the name of Ebisu. We don't let poverty get us down. crying won't make you rich, so use that mouth of yours and smile, smile. We have, at present, Onigashima. They're approaching from the southeast seas. Shoot them under. Don't you dare let that hag into this country. And they go, they've got the koi fish pulling their ships. How do they know about the waterfall climbing method? Big Mom's intelligence gathering is said to be the very best in the business. Kaido goes, shut your mouth. I don't care. We knew they were coming either way, so sink 'em already. And you see a bunch of goons on the little mountains leading up to the waterfall shooting their cannons. And you see Big Mom on her Mama Shantae going, ma ma ma, ha 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 ha. It's like it's not working. The cannons are being deflected. And you see Sparrow, Smoothie, and Daifuku taking out all the goons and the cannons. We have, ha 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 ha. Here I am, Kaido. Here we come, Straw Hat. And it's time for you to return to me, Zeus. And we have Big Mom Pirates. And we see Flampe, Smoothie, Galette, Montdor, and a few of the other ones I don't bother remembering the name of. And then Big Mom goes, climb those falls. And we see Ra. It's like fish that climb waterfalls. It's like, it's hard to believe my eyes, Perorin. Kaido's like, don't let them in. What are you doing, you fools? The idea that we'd come up the falls never occurred to us, sir. It's like, are Linland's brats with her? It's like, it seems there's a number of them on board. The brats are our officers. If they disembark, it'll be a full-scale war. Like, but sir, we don't have enough manpower ready to fight them back atop the waterfall. It's like it or not, here we are, Wano. Ma, 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 ma. Ha, 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 ha. And then, like a breaching whale, the big ship just comes up over the waterfall. And you hear a key, and something flies toward them. Big Mom's like, what? And something strikes the bow of the ship. It's like, it's him. It's like a pterodon. It's like, is it King? And you see, yes, that King indeed does have a pterodon fruit. Looks very, from the back when you see him, looks very Marco the Phoenix like. And he goes, so much fuss over one measly ship. You have dragon fruit, ancient type pterodon model. And all the goons are cheering, going, King kicked him out of the air. And it looks like Big Mom has gone into the water. At that moment, Flower Capital. And it goes, hey, how come we got a foot or two? Huff, huff. Don't forget, you knocked out one of them, wheeze, wheeze. But it's the Soba cook they're chasing, right? It doesn't matter how it started. Once they spot you, it's going to kick off a manhunt for the entire crew. We can't have that. It'll put Nami and Robin in danger. Listen up. If you get caught, don't say a word about the samurai or the minks. Just let them kill you. And Usopp's like, yikes! Hey, Luffy would never say something like that. Well, I prefer things a bit more deadpan. Frankie's like, what if we cover our faces before we fight? And Allah's like, only if you're absolutely positive you can win. Remember, each and every injury decreases our strength to the decisive battle, so don't fight yet. Usopp's like, hey, who made you our captain? If I get caught, I'm blabbing about everyone so I can walk free. Oh, boy. Alright, I'll get to this in the end of the review bit, but yeah. And then Sanji goes, don't even think about it. Ooh, I'm going to protect you so good. And Usopp's going, yay, it worked. He's like, will you two get serious? He's like, eek, I hear a lady. Of course you do. Huh? From a house? What's going on over there? And you see, please stop this. We've done nothing, sir. And you see people running amok as a dinosaur is just smashing his tail into every house. He's like, you're a soba shop. He's like, so what if we sell soba? Our store will be kicked out of the capital. And he goes, tell me the other soba cooks or else. Shout for Sangoro as loud as you can. Shout for the fool who attacked the Kiyoshiro family. He goes, Sangoro, show yourself, curse you. He's like, he. But if he's a coward, he'll never show his face at all. What shop should I try next? I'm in the mood for fruit. Like, show yourself, Sangoro. Please, Sangoro, take responsibility for your actions. It's just, Like I said, we'll get to that at the end. Don't do this. We've done nothing to deserve it. Then call for Sangoro the soba cook, all of you at once. And you see as he's chewing into more food, Sanji comes in, kicks him in the face and goes, I'm right here. So you crash. Like, that's him. Sangoro with his special soba. He actually showed up. He. Took you long enough. It's like, this is page 1 reporting. Target spotted in the 6th block of District 2. Got it. Heading there now. So you've got dinosaur powers, huh? So why did you have to wait until now? Our home is already ruined. What are you doing, Sangoro? Ignore them. It's all over if Drake and Hawkins show up. Like, luckily enough, this guy doesn't know me. And you see someone throws a cup at him and it hits him on the head. They won't identify me and I won't get hurt. I can take care of an idiot like this in no time. Yeah, it's nice to increase our ranks, but we can also decrease theirs. You guys go on ahead. As long as they don't find out who I am, right? So an idea quickly struck me right now as I was reading this. God. I'm going to check something out quickly on the wiki because I know big speculation right now is either Sanji's going to use the raid suit as a disguise or that, something's going to like happen to throw him off. Like, I think everyone's expecting he's going to use the raid suit and it's going to either be a gag, excuse me, or that it will be like he actually used the raid suit as a disguise. But remember back when Kinemon said that there was one more person looking for him. They said, apart from the Witching Hour kid, whatever his name is, there is one more person that they're looking for. Trying to figure out who it is. Because remember they said, there's a guy that's going around with a sickle or a scythe or something, cutting up people in a certain district. I'm trying to find out if this is that district that God, page 1 just mentioned. Apologize for this. Let me just get a quick second to see. Just 1 second here. Okay, found it. So, Kamazo. So, Kamazo the assassin, a street murderer. According to the newspaper, seems strong, and he's responsible for a street murder on the 8th Street in District 2 of the Flower Capital. And page 1 is in the 6th block of District 2. So I'm now tempted to think that will be the big fake out for the next chapter. Is this guy shows up, takes out page 1. Sanji doesn't have to use the raid suit. Oda saves it. Law's whole thing of we can't use up our strength comes true. Kamazo gets to show off his powers and be like, I'm super strong by taking out one of the headliners. Just like how, what's his face? The bandit guy. Ashura Doji, how he took out, or how he slashed Jack. That might be the fake out. It just occurred to me as I was reading this. Alright, so before I get into my problems with this chapter and this thing, I'm going to try to go through this kind of section by section, going through my thoughts. Ebisu Town, my take right now is that this is Whiskey Peak 2.0, basically. Because I know I've heard theories tossed around that, what if the Shogun, the food that he doesn't use at his feast, he kind of throws to this town. That's why it's called the Town of Leftovers. And I know some people are like, oh no, what if they're just, legitimately nice people that are, smiling through their hardships and they really are giving Zoro, fresh water, etc. And that could be the direction Oda takes. It's like Zoro decides as repayment for, everything they've done for him, he goes and cuts down someone or whatever. I don't know if I really buy that. Because when Zoro looks at the well when they give him the water and he knows how disused it is, it made me think that he spotted something suspicious and he's kind of playing along to find out what's going on. And then, how these people keep talking about, oh, good fortune's coming our way and you have to do this, blah, 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 right? And then again, the line where, everyone's commenting, oh, what's his name? God. What was the Tonyasu, where he goes, now, keep your hands off this catch, folks. I saw him first. That might just be a hint that these are all bounty hunters, and they basically capture high-ranking criminals and shake them to the shogun, and he repays them with like the leftover food or whatever. And the fact that they're sycophants, makes me think that they basically worship the shogun and they do this for him. But again, that's neither here or there. That's just my idea for that bit. And this again was another idea I had, was I'm 99% sure that Otoko, who works for Komurasaki, is from this town. She's got the same smile, the same kind of look, the same attitude. And I know this was a theory I've suggested for a long time, is I think that the witching hour boy, Ushimitsu Kozo, is actually Otoko, and that the money that they're giving back to the poor people is the one Komurasaki cons out of the rich assholes living in the flower capital. Cons the money out of them, gives it to Otoko and says, go distribute it to the poor. And I think that Oda's going to make this into a gag and be like, oh, where Otoko said, oh, if you say my name is Toko or whatever, that means boy or man. And she's like, oh, I'm not a man. That whole gag. I feel like he's going to spin that into that's why people think that Otoko or the witching hour boy is actually a boy, not a girl. But again, not too on that theory. Big Mom coming to Wano. I have been against this theory since the beginning. Like, I know everyone else was super, super excited about, oh man, two emperors are going to clash on Wano. Oh, I can't wait to see this, etc., etc. I'm not a fan for a couple of reasons. The biggest reason I did not want Big Mom showing up on Wano is I felt like doing so and having to, for Oda having to split more screen time to another faction that we've already met, kind of develop. This is where like the argument could go both ways. I want Kaido's crew to get development. I want the Wano cast to get development. And Oda's track record for being able to handle a large, diverse cast post time skip, give them equal development, has not been the greatest. And so my biggest fear with this has always been that bringing Big Mom here kind of distracts from all that, where I feel like he's going to have to take some focus away from Kaido and his crew and kind of focusing on their individuality to kind of focus on, okay, here's Big Mom, here's her crew, how's the conflict going down? And I don't really care for that, because right now, none of Kaido's crew are really intriguing to me. Like, they're all very one-note characters. I'm not intrigued by any of them. None of them have piqued my interest. Yes, it's early on in Wano. Things could still change. But this chapter feels like Oda is trying to rush the pace a lot faster than he is in most other arcs, because the Fire Festival is still 1 week away at this point. And now Big Mom Pirates are here. And like Kaido said, if they land on Wano, it's going to be a big conflict. And I don't know how Oda's going to be able to kind of push that off, because everything has to come to a head at the Fire Festival. It cannot happen now. Like, he can't. I don't think he's going. Well, can't say it can't happen now. I don't think he's going to move the conflict ahead up by 1 week. He very well might. It's up to him to see if he does. I don't think he will, given that he specifically mentioned the 2-week time limit for the Fire Festival. So, again, I'm not sure what he's going to do with Big Mom, Pirates, and them. Since Big Mom did get knocked off the waterfall into the water, something I would like to see that actually be kind of an interesting spin on this would be like a Big Mom Pirates separation arc where all of the crew get washed off to different areas and islands of Wano, and they basically spend the next week trying to find each other and regroup because, you know, Kaido's forces basically control it. And I feel like he'd put out a bounty on all of them, and we know the samurai in Wano are powerful enough to be able to probably go toe to toe with a lot of our officers. If that was the arc we're going with, I'd be a lot more interested in where this is headed. But again, I don't want that to shift away focus from the Beast Pirates, and I want them to see them more developed. I want to see the Wano and Straw Hats also more developed. So again, like, I didn't really care for the whole waterfall sequence. It was what it was. I do wonder why Kaido is so adamant that he doesn't want to get into conflict with Big Mom. I don't think it's because he's scared of her. Because, you know, he's always said that, oh, my dream is to start the biggest war this world has ever seen. You know, I welcome death, suicide my hobby. So I feel like he would want someone powerful like Big Mom trying to take him out. But this might be the reason that he doesn't want her here might have something to do with rocks. Which, again, theory I've had for a while now is that whatever secret that whatever threat she's holding over him has to be related to that. And I feel like the mysterious fishbone spitting prisoner is the missing Rocks Pirates captain. But again, like I said, I'll have to see if that's the case. And then we probably get to what is my least favorite part of this chapter. Everything with Sanji, Law, Frankie running away. You know, doing this thing. So start off with the character stuff first. Usopp, you know, I get that it's supposed to be a gag of like, oh, ha ha ha, look, Usopp is a coward. But to me, this just speaks to how little the characters have progressed and how Oda needs, and because of that, Oda really needs to kind of fall back on the same gags and jokes over and over and over again. You know, it's like, oh, Usopp's a coward, Usopp's scared of this, Usopp's scared of that. And it kind of, you know, if you're going to be if Usopp's character progression is supposed to be he's going to go from a coward to being a brave warrior of the sea, you've got to actually show that forward progression of his. And I know that, you know, being a brave warrior of the sea doesn't mean that Usopp is suddenly going to be Mr. Confident, you know. He's not going to become the incarnation of Sogeking where he's super confident in all his abilities, you know. He has no fear whatsoever. I don't expect any of that. What I do expect is to see Usopp stopping the whole like bit about, you know, being scared of that's the word I'm looking for. What I want to see is Usopp learning to control his fear rather than continually letting his fear control him and seeing the same gags over and over and over again. And, you know, like the whole thing of even him saying, oh, you know, if I get captured, I'm going to literally just spill out all the information on everyone. Even for the sake of a gag, it feels very much like what we got in Dressrosa, where once he lost the memory of Robin, he's just like, oh, you know, see you later, Tentados, you're on your own. I know it doesn't really mean that if he did get caught, he'd actually sell it out, but, you know, the gag just once again kind of diminishes any kind of tension we're supposed to feel about the situation or about this arc. And it just cuts through completely. Like, it does not make you feel like it. And even the gag of like, oh no, Sanji's finally going to protect Usopp because of this. And it's just like, I'm just getting tired of these gags. And like again, Sanji doing the whole, oh, I hear a lady, of course I have to go rescue her because if I hadn't heard a lady, then why would I possibly rescue these other citizens? And then we come to what is possibly the worst part of the chapter, where Sanji, of course, rushes in like a freaking moron, after he caused this whole incident, and he pulls out the raid suit container and he's about to use it. Even though at the very start of Wano, after Whole Cake Island ended, he was literally about to take the container and throw the suit into the ocean. And Luffy and Usopp and Chopper and all of them had to beg him to keep and be like, oh, because it's so cool. All those qualms he had about, oh, I'm not going to let science or this determine my power, I'll make my own way, I don't need my family's legacy. Everything we're supposed to believe Whole Cake Island addressed or talked about just gets shit on with this scene, where Sanji's first go-to solution for the problem of, oh, how am I going to take out this dinosaur, is I'll just put on my raid suit. And I know everyone's going to look at me and be like, oh, well, it's only going to be for a disguise, so it's not that big a deal because he's not going to use the power up. I don't think, okay, even arguing that, alright, even if he used the raid suit just for aesthetics, if he didn't use the power at all, he's still getting the benefits from it. I don't think the raid suit is like, robotic armor you can flip the on and off switch and show off and turn off all the advantages it gives you. Use it as a normal disguise and then flick the switch back on, the abilities come back. But the fact is, this was something I was thinking about, talking about, theorized about this, was I was hoping that Oda would use the raid suit to give Sanji some development and really, really put the closure on his past with his family. Because this kind of ties into something I want to talk about with Big Mom in general, and just like this entire arc. And really my defining problem with this chapter is I feel like Oda's goal with this chapter was to be like, alright, we're upping the stakes on Wano, we're upping the tension. Big Mom's here with their crew, what's going to happen to the Straw Hats now? 2 emperors are now here to fight. It's going to be a big clash between the Straw Hats, the Kozuki clan, Kaido's forces, the Shogun's forces, Big Mom, all that. It's like, big, explosive, massive battle and power. And the I have a few problems with that. But the biggest one is it's really all just noise. Because I was reading Chuck Wendig's Damn Fine Story, which goes through the art of storytelling. Highly recommend it to anyone that kind of wants to get a grasp on how to tell stories. But one of the lines, hold on, let me just pull it up really quick here. One of the lines that stuck with me here was this. So the character creates the plot. We have this idea of plot as a big explosive thing. A galaxy in strife, a world in danger, hidden treasure, secret weapon. All of those things are very large, very plotty, yes. They're also entirely external. They are inorganic, and yet we have often approached stories this way, and it's like trying to install a skeleton into the body after the child is born. It's not a part of the story. When storytellers have an exterior framework into which they plug the characters operate as secondary, as afterthoughts, and the audience has no one to ground them in the story. Characters are everything. Characters drive the narrative. Last one from this. We do this thing where we believe the story is greater than the character, but the reality is that the character or characters provide the reason for the story in the first place. And this chapter, to me, represents that perfectly in a nutshell, where Oda's throwing all these big elements at you, emperors and this and that, and it really feels so hollow and so empty when you consider so much of what post time skip fails to kind of deliver with this arc. I have, been going on and on and on and on about one specific element of post time skip that doesn't sit right with me, and that's the idea of consequences. The way Oda's writing the story right now, he seems to be flagrantly disregarding the idea that consequences matter. I've talked about this in other videos. I've talked about this on my Twitter platform multiple times. But the one lesson I felt like Luffy should have taken away from Sabaody Archipelago and from Marineford was that can no longer, going into the new world, he can no longer operate like he's always done. He cannot rush into any situation blindly without a thought for what the fallout from those actions would be. And we see it in the most basic stuff. When he says that, Raleigh taught me that, when he's doing the return fire with his balloon body, he says, Raleigh taught me that just sending the cannonballs back in any direction willy-nilly is really, really stupid and dumb, It shows an extreme lack of foresight. And, that's not the way to go. You should think about what you're doing before you redirect the fire. Again, on Punk Hazard, when Usopp tells Zoro that, Luffy got knocked out so easily by Caesar, it was effortless, like he couldn't even put up a fight. And Zoro gets pissed off and he goes, this is the new world now. Why the fuck is Luffy playing around? We have to take this seriously. And Luffy goes, oh yeah, Zoro, of course I'll take this seriously. And he goes back to doing exactly what he's doing before. And the thing I've seen in Wano that has not delivered is the Straw Hats the way the Straw Hats are acting now, it's like they really do somehow instinctively know that they are the main characters in a story. And you know what? No matter what happens, fuck all the consequences. They can do whatever they like. They'll get out of it scot-free at the end. No problem. It's the whole put your faith in Luffy. He's our trump card. No matter what, with him leading the charge, we cannot possibly lose. And actually retweeted this on my Twitter earlier this week. But Delia S. Dawson was another writer, was talking about tension. And one of the lines she put out that stuck with me was, basically, tension is constantly reminding your reader that the stakes are real. The hero could fail, the hero could die, the world could end, and if they do manage to win against all odds, they will not escape unscathed. There will be real consequences and sacrifices. And you cannot convince me that this applies to post-time skip One Piece in any regard at all. I know first example that probably comes to a lot of fans' minds would be, well, Whole Cake Island did this, didn't it? Pedro was dead. He sacrificed himself so the crew could get away safely. The same thing happened to Pound. I do not for a single second believe that either Pedro is dead or that Pound is dead. Pound especially is not dead, and I 100,000% expect that Pedro is going to come back into the story at some point. If I'm wrong, I will be more than happy to take back what I've said, and I will honestly congratulate Oda on finally having put consequences back into a story. Even if the execution was flawed, I will admit I was wrong. But there is no way in hell you can expect me to believe that Pedro is dead. Even if we take that conclusion, the next step, or let's pretend that Pedro is dead. what did the Straw Hats learn from Whole Cake Island? You know, the entire thing was they're like, oh, we'll go stealthily into Big Mom's territory, sneak in and out with Sanji, no problem. Instead, they go in, make a big riot, you know, make some noise, get spotted really easily, underestimate Big Mom, lose Pedro in the process. Then they get to Wano, and again, exact same thing plays out over and over and over again. You know, Luffy, as soon as he sees Kaido beating up the town, runs off like this, and he's like, I'm gonna go punch him in the face. Back on Punk Hazard, Law said, you know, there's a 30% chance that my plan, perfectly executed, would take out Kaido. 30% chance. And I was so excited when, you know, that one chapter where Luffy goes after him in Gear 4, hits him with all his strongest attacks, Kaido one-shots him, and he's just like, you know, what were you the king of again, boy? I loved that scene. Loved it. Next chapter, Luffy could not give a shit. He got beaten down. He thinks his crew is dead. Of course, he later finds out they're fine. Doesn't affect his actions in any way. So, when you tell me that, oh, Big Mom is coming to Wano, and oh my god, the Straw Hats are in danger, I don't know what Oda expects me to buy. The believable idea that, you know, the Straw Hats are in any way going to come out of this scathed in any way. You know, do I want them to? Yes, I would love for them to come out of this scarred. And I've written theories about how this could happen and, you know, all the lessons they could learn. But nothing that Oda's shown me so far is convincing me that that's what's going to happen. Because, you know, even at the end where we see Frankie and them running off and going, oh, you know, how come we gotta hide, blah, blah, blah. You know, and Sanji's like, oh, I have to take responsibility for what he did, or Nami and Robin will be in danger. When he was operating his soba stall, you know, and a bunch of goonies came over to kick it, instead of laying low, he does the exact opposite, beats them to a bloody pulp, you know, runs them off, and gets Kaido's goons on his tail. Did he know that was going to happen? No. But come on, he's in Kaido's territory. You'd think the Straw Hats would have learned something from Big Mom, that you can never know who's actually watching you. You know, like Robin was sitting there with them, eating soba, talking with them. Do you think no one in Wano actually noticed that, hey, Sangoro the soba cook was talking with that with the new geisha that went to the Shogun's place? And again, with even with after Kaido beats Luffy, right? Same thing. The Straw Hats had no concern, no worries, nothing. They're smiling, happily eating food, and being like, "Oh, Luffy's in the prison. He'll be fine. We'll break him out so easily." If they don't convey the sense of danger and tension that this situation supposedly requires, then how are we as readers supposed to believably buy that this is a challenging fight that they're about to face? You know, if they can't sell that to me, why am I supposed to buy it? And again, like like I'm saying, this entire chapter is a showcase of the Straw Hats acting first, thinking later, but none of it will really mean anything for anyone. Like, I know, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, this is just a way for Oda to kind of push the story forward and change plot points and progress events. But you could do all of those things without the Straw Hats repeating the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. And that's what I'm getting tired of, is seeing this and pretending like, you know, they're actually learning anything or anything's going to happen. And I'm really tired of fans pretending like, you know, this is somehow tension building with that. And I think this will be my kind of like final point on this for this. Big Mom. Alright, okay, fine. She's showing up, excitement, big fights are going to happen, emperors are going to throw down. Big Mom story will not end on Wano. I can almost guarantee that nothing will happen to her or her crew at the end of Wano. None of them are going to really get, well, maybe, like Sparrow, someone will lose a limb or something, but nothing really radical happen to them by the end of this arc, because Big Mom's story has been basically fated at this point to end on Elbaf. No matter what happens, Big Mom's story will not end here. The ending of Whole Cake Island cemented the fact that Big Mom's story, and also really Germa's story, will conclude in Elbaf. I am almost 100% positive on that. And, for Germa, everyone, I know people often are probably wondering, well, isn't Germa's story tied up with Whole Cake Island? We still don't know, what the deal is behind Vince Smoke Sora. This is again something I've theorized on, speculated on countless times before. Vince Smoke Sora, Dr. Vegapunk, Judge, and even Brooke have some connection that has not been fully explored yet. I don't buy for a second that Sora, Warrior of the Sea, does not in any way connect to Sanji's mother, Sora. Dr. Vegapunk is going to have to come back into the story at some point. We know the Straw Hats are going to eventually meet him, learn about the secret to Devil Fruits and everything. And I can almost guarantee that he and Sanji at some point are going to have a confrontation. Because, the popular theory way back in Whole Cake was that Sanji has the same eyebrows as his father. If that's the case, I can almost guarantee that when Vegapunk looks at Sanji, he will be reminded of Judge, and we are going to get a flashback into Germa's real history, what Sora's connection to them was, and how events played out. And while the start of that might be in Wano, I think it's going to play out fully in Elbaf. And so again, Big Mom's story not ending here means her presence here really doesn't add much except to just be there. She's kind of like the looming shadow, but there's not really anything significant going to happen with her. So again, another reason I just don't buy into this idea that, I'm supposed to be excited or surprised or enticed by this idea that she's here, because I don't feel like it's going to really do anything long term for the story. But I think that's about it. Thoughts here before I ramble on too much. If any of you have, qualms about anything I've brought up on this video, if you have any counter arguments, counter proposals to the idea suggested here, please do let me know. If you can convince me and change my mind that this is actually a really great step forward for the Wano arc, I'd be more than happy to listen to it. And I'd love to be convinced that, this is going to be an arc for the ages, because honestly, I have not felt it from One Piece for a good long while. But yeah, I'm honestly just got a headache from reading and doing all this. But if you can convince me that, there will be consequences this arc, the Straw Hat struggle will feel real, that they are going to lose something, that, victory's going to feel well earned, I'd be more than happy to listen to all those arguments and be convinced, but it's going to be a hard sell, I will admit. Okay, so like I said, closing off, don't expect any more of these videos for a while. unless there is something that you really, really want my opinion on, want me to react to, then just send me a message on Twitter saying, hey, I think you'd like the next chapter, please react to it, whatever. I want to hear your thoughts. And if you do, I will definitely make time to try to do that. But otherwise, for the next little while, I'm probably just going to casually follow the series, not post too many thoughts. And I hope it does turn around. I really, really do want to fall in love with the series again, but it's just not happening. Well, until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you later.